Hello everyone, this is PHTV Channel 4 in Palos Heights. I'm Sue Jankowski and we are around Palos. I'm here with our good friend Janine. Hi Janine.
Hi Sue, thanks for coming out tonight.
Well, it's so great, and you know, we've talked about this event. We are at Trinity Christian College, which is right in town here. We are at the Ozinga Chapel, and we are here tonight to look at and hear Lisa C., who is a well-known author, written a lot of books. I can't even name how many books she's written, read by lots of people. But specifically tonight, she was talking about The Island of Sea Women, which is her newest book that's come out.
It came out in May, and we were excited to have Lisa come out to talk about this book. She's a New York Times bestselling author, incredible woman known for her research and all the different books, and so this is something the library's been planning for quite a long time. We had a great turnout, so we're happy that we get some good support here.
We have, and I think that is what's really great. They decided to go ahead and get a larger venue, and we have hundreds of people here, all with their books in hand. This is the line to get their book signed by Lisa C. And I mean, what did you think of the little lecture we had? Is that what we call it?
Yeah, her presentation. She was wonderful. I didn't expect her to be so funny.
Oh my gosh.
She has a very, very interesting family history. The story she was telling about her grandfather and her great-grandfather of Chinese heritage, and the stories of him coming over to this country, and just the stories about the Henyo, the women sea divers that are featured in this book, and how she had us all hold our breaths to see how long we can hold our breath, and we
didn't do very well.
No, we didn't. We would not make it as a sea diver. No. It's just why we live in Palos Heights.
Yeah, so. We do not live near a sea.
And our life doesn't depend on a living from the ocean, yes, so we're okay. Yeah. But she's funny and very informative, and the history section I just absolutely love. She does so much research for her books. So we learn not just about the friendship that's featured in this book, but you learn about the history of Korea, which is where the book takes place. So it's just she's just a fascinating speaker and very entertaining, and we just had a great time.
We did. It's so entertaining. I mean, lots of laughter from the audience, but lots of quiet interest too, because the details, the historical details that she tells you is just so fascinating, and she's done so much research. Going to the island, I don't know if I can say
Jeju.
Jeju.
Yes.
The island of Jeju, which I had never heard of. I'm not sure, everybody has, but I'm going to say whether you're an avid reader, if you're male or female, it really doesn't matter. This book is just loaded with great information about a time period, the culture.
The different traditions and how they changed over time, how the country itself, how it was formed, and starting with the Japanese colonies from the 1910s to the 1945s, and then after World War II, after it was realigned with the British, Russian, and American forces, and what they did for the country, and the effect it had on the country and the history of the people. So we had a program on Korea at the library 2 weeks ago. And we had Anna Kim, she's a local resident here. She came and talked about Korea, and we had a lot of Korean vets in the audience, which was really, really nice. And they were so grateful that we had a program on Korea, because that's, as we know, the forgotten war, not something that many people talk about. So they were able to come and listen to the history of a country that they actually fought in, which they, and when they were young, exactly, when they were sent as young men, they didn't know much about it. So they were really thrilled to learn about the history of a country that they actually were fighting in,
That is amazing. So we've had a whole, preview, like a prequel to Lisa C. being here with that going on over at the library. Well, we are going to be able to talk to Lisa C. in just a minute, so we're going to go see. She's busy signing books, and everybody wants to talk to her, and so we're going to see if she can talk to us for just a moment. Well, we have author Lisa C. now, who's going to talk to us for just a moment. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule here. But I think the thing that everyone's really fascinated by, is the research that you do and the amount of research you do. Like, how do you get started with deciding how to go about where do you go? I mean, you went to the island.
Well, I do every kind of research you can imagine somebody would do. I do. I look on the internet to see what I can see. I live very close to UCLA. I go to the research library there. I try to find scholars who have, written about the subject. I read people's unpublished dissertations that even their mothers haven't read. I go to the places that I write about, of course, and eat everything the characters eat, and just try to get a sense when I'm there, just really in terms of just the senses. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it smell like? It's a windy island, so what does that wind feel like on your skin in the morning and in the evening? And then, just talking to the divers themselves.
That sounds like such an immersion kind of process that you go through. I don't know that all authors do that. I mean, I think that's kind of unique. Is that true?
I don't know. I'm sure there's some who do, and I know that there are a lot who don't. I know there are many writers who either have research assistants who go and do the work for them, or they just, look online and see what they can see and get the bare minimum. I know there's one writer I heard interviewed who was actually writing about something true, and she didn't do any research. She said, I just want it to be that place of my mind.
You could have been doing that.
I could have, but I just wouldn't, because for me, the research is the most fun part. I feel like it's a treasure hunt that I never know what I'm going to find, and then there are moments when I'll hear a story, or I'll see something, or I'll find something, and I'll think, ooh, I've got to use that.
Yes,
and
exactly.
it will trigger my imagination.
Right. Well, as a reader, it's so nice to know that these are authentic pieces of information that you're getting, that these things actually did happen, and you're getting like bits of history with your dialogue put in, making it a real story that makes it, keeps that interest going. It's not just reading a history book, but there's a lot of history involved in it. Yeah, Janine,
it was funny. We had one of our 5 questions we sent to you was, how do you know when you're done researching? And your answer was, I don't.
I don't. I just research all the way to the bitter end.
I don't. And I just want to tell our audiences, I think another really unusual and interesting piece is that you start with your last line. I can't imagine, sometimes you get to the end of something, it's like, well, what is the end of this? Well, you already have the end of it. The very last line is already in the works, or actually put down on paper.
Yes, I do. I do write that my last line first. I think it's because I just want to know where I'm going to end emotionally. And I know that these books are quite an emotional journey, not just for me, but for readers.
Absolutely.
But for me, even to know, these people are going to go through so much, but here's where they're going to end up.
Yeah.
And that helps to carry me through.
Yeah, a little comfort
It
there
is,
in
it
knowing
is.
where you're going to end. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
taking some
you.
time out and talking
Thank
to
you so
us.
much.
Yes, thanks for the
for
evening.
coming to
Yes,
Palos.
we
We're
really,
so excited to have you here.
we are very excited.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, before we go though, Janine, I just want to say it's so fascinating to me to speak to authors, because I think sometimes we all think about, we're going to write a book, or I'm going to write a children's story, or I'm going to write the story of our family. I'm going to do some writing. So many people think that. I'm one of them. And then you have someone who's an accomplished writer who's written, dozens of books, and you're, wow, how do they do it? It's just amazing.
That's one of the things I like about when you're talking to different authors, is that everybody has a different way of doing things. There is no set way of doing things, and to hear her story, how the different quirks, like she types with only 3 fingers, or the amount of research that she does, and how one book, her tea book, The Tea Girl from Hummingbird Lane, was a book that came out before this one. That was 20 years in the works. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's quite a process. And of course, not everybody operates that way. So it's fascinating for me to find out how the creative mind works, how different people work together or on different ideas. So that's what I like about it.
It really is so fascinating. But I just want to tell our viewers that you can go ahead and get this book. Where would they get it?
You can definitely order your copy at the libraries. We have several copies, or you can go to all the local bookstores have it, or online, that kind of thing.
And if you wanted to read her book and just get it from the library, she's written other books that are really good
Absolutely.
too.
Well, if you're waiting for this book, she's got at least 7 other non-historical fiction titles that you can read Tea-Girl of Hummingbird Lane, China Doll, Snowflower, and Secret Fan, which was made into a movie. Several other books. They are all standalone books. They are not a series, so you can pick up any book and read it, you know, and not wait for this one. So come on now to the library, go get your book at a bookstore.
Yeah.
So glad you were able to come out and view this. Yeah.
Thank you. We really, really enjoyed it. It's really been just fascinating, and what a wonderful thing that the Palos Heights Public Library has put on for just extended, not just the city of Palos Heights, but anybody that we are within listening or any kind of.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people from a lot of different communities here tonight. It was good to see that they saw the publicity in the paper or heard about it from a friend. A lot of book clubs were here.
They were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dozens
That's a thing I want to mention too. What a generous person with, you can go right on her website and kind of look at things, look at videos, look at her research about things.
And Skype with her.
Skype with her. Your book club can Skype with her if you want to do that. If she is available, she will, try to do that. So if you thinking about it, you could go to the Lisa C website and
LisaC.com.
and do that. So I mean, what a nice thing. A really nice person.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thanks, Janine.
Thank you, Sue. Thanks for coming. Thank you all for watching. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next time around Palos. Bye.